Hello Year 6, my name's Mrs Carter and I manage the transition for Year 6 students into Year 7. I've put together a short video answering some of the questions that Year 6s often ask me in my role. I would like to point you towards our website. Here you'll find a wealth of information and the answers to many of your questions. One of the tabs that's very useful to Year 6s is the Student Information tab in the middle, and in there you can find the Year 6 information. I'd also like to point you to Show My Homework. This is an app that can be used, it can be downloaded onto phones, and it's used for homework at Icknield Community College. It's amazing and is very user-friendly, useful for teachers and useful for students and parents to keep a track of homework. One question I am often asked is about how much homework will students be given. So the homework app, Show My Homework, that I mentioned, enables students to manage their own homework and they can tick it off when they have completed it. Parents will also receive a login so that they can also monitor the homework. Year 7s and all other year groups will be given a homework timetable, and it works a bit like this one from this year. Everybody would have a piece of English, science and maths homework to do and a piece of language, whether it's French or Spanish. One week they would have history and one week they would have geography homework. So if you have a look on here, on a Thursday I would set my history class some homework and they would have that as long as with their maths homework. Homework isn't set for the next day. Children are given several days and maybe a week to complete it, with a bit longer for bigger tasks. I often have questions about the food here at Icknield School. As you recognise from the virtual tour, here we've got the street kitchen, and this is where students can line up to buy food at break and lunchtime. Of course, not everybody does. Some people bring all their food and snacks from home. Everyone's issued with a key fob, and so is a cashless catering system. You never be expected to bring money to school for your food, and you simply press your key fob onto the machine and it recognises you and it will deduct the money from your account. We also have the street kitchen outside, which some students choose to use. Here we have an example of the menu from the kitchens. So as you can see, there's a variety of meals on each day, always a vegetarian option and the very popular chips on a Friday. So these are some of the questions I've been asked about lessons. I've put here an example timetable from this year. So if you have a look, the timetable goes downwards. Okay, so if you look on Monday, you've got tutor time. In this case, it would be with Dr. Hicks in room 9. And then you've got the next lesson going downwards, period 1, PE with Miss Hillier in the sports hall. When you receive your timetable, it will give you a list of the teachers' names at the bottom as well, and that will help you get to learn them. Then going back to that Monday, you've got science, and then there's art, and then English, and then geography. And then you go to Tuesday. You'll also see there's a 2-week timetable. You've got week A and week B. If you notice, not much changes between those 2 weeks. So if you have a look at that first day, spot the change. That's it. Period 5. You've got geography 1 week and history in the other week. So if you have a look at Tuesday, again, very similar all the way through the day. Everyone gets to know which week it is, week A or week B. Lessons are normally an hour long. Sometimes they're a bit shorter. So for instance, on period 4, just before lunch, Year 7s get to go early so they can get down to the canteen and be at the front of the queue. So that lesson's a little bit shorter, for example. As you can see, there are 5 lessons in the day plus tutor time. On a Friday for Year 7, tutor time is an assembly. How long is break time? There's 20 minutes between period 2 and period 3 and 40 minutes between period 4 and period 5 for lunch. Remember, for year 7s, that's a bit longer because they go early for lunch. Is there time between lessons? No, there isn't, because we don't need it. The longest journey you might do would be going from science over to the PE changing rooms, but you would go with your class and stick with them, and you won't be late. Year 7s are the first who are given opportunities to get a locker. You pay a deposit, so it's £10, but £5 of that is returnable at the end of the year if you give your key back. Don't worry if you forget your key one day. You can go to finance and they will lend you their spare one, so you can go and get your stuff out of your locker. I would recommend a locker, but you will need to talk to other people who are at Icknield and find out what they think. The main blocks of lockers are along here in the maths corridor and in the science corridor. So again, once you get used to where your tutor room is, you might think about whether you would like a locker in the maths corridor or in the science corridor. But you don't have to have a locker. We've also been asked, can you decorate your locker a bit like in the American movies? Yes, you can on the inside. Don't do anything to it that would damage it so that other people couldn't use it in the future, but you certainly could put some of your own decorations in there. Not on the outside though, because they look very smart anyway, plus it would get damaged as people walk past. When the weather's good, it's nice for year 7s and 8s to sit out in the quads and eat. We recommend this as opposed to the field because of the red kites, who are quite prone to swooping in and stealing people's food. So the quads are very much used by 7s and 8s and sometimes 9s. Questions about clubs. So here we've got an example from the website of the club's booklet that gets updated through the year because it's seasonal according to the PE available. But you can see there's a wide range of clubs. This was from last year before lockdown, and it appeals to a wide range of people. So for example, here's the 3D Design Club. All year groups are welcome for this. And this is an after school club. Look, it's 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. You would need to arrange your own transport home. There are also clubs that take place at lunchtime. So for example, this science club is just for Key Stage 3 and it's at Wednesday lunchtime. And it's an opportunity to do some experiments with the science teachers. So I look forward to meeting you all in person on our induction day in September. On that day, you will find out who your tutor is and who all the other children in your tutor group are, and you will spend the day with them. We've also got our prefects coming in to support you on that day. Should you have any other questions, please do drop me an email there's my email address there. One thing I suppose I should add is all of this is in the ideal world, in what we might call normal times. And as we all know, these aren't normal times. So we will be following the guidance that's set out by the government, and things might be a little bit different in September. For instance, you might be with your tutor group more often than you would have been otherwise, or you might be having lunch in a particular area. All of that will be explained to you in September. So bye for now and see you then.